Legacy is not leaving something for people, it's leaving something in people. Peter Stroppel said this many years ago. Hello there, and welcome to your number one personality show, Star Chat. My name is Bolare. Well, this evening on Star Chat, we're honored to host a truly distinguished figure, an octogenarian whose life work has left an indelible mark on Ghana and beyond. He was born on the 4th day of April 1944. A statesman, a diplomat, an academic, a politician, and a Baptist minister. Well, he has a lot to tell us this evening on the show. He's blessed with both life and a career that spans decades of dedicated service. Our guest tonight is Professor Aaron Mike Oquaye. He will tell us about his Ghana name and the day on which he was born. He wears many hats. He was Speaker of Parliament, that's Ghana's Parliament from 2017 to 2021, played a pivotal role in shaping our legislative landscape. His affiliation with the New Patriotic Party, NPP, saw him as the Member of Parliament for Dom Kwabenya from 2005 to 2013, as well as holding the key positions in government, ministerial positions that is, including Minister of Energy, Minister of Communications. We'll talk a lot more. Man who was born to E.G.N. Oquaye, a foundational figure in Ghana's independence movement. Professor Oquaye's legacy is deeply intertwined with the roots of our nation's democracy. His father was a financier of the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC, and other political movements, instilling a passion for public service and leadership in his son. Prof. Oquaye's academic journey is nothing short of remarkable, if you ask me. From the University of Ghana to the University of London, where he qualified as a barrister, to his PhD from the prestigious School of Oriental and African Studies. His intellectual contributions have spanned the globe. Tonight, we're celebrating a colossus indeed. A man who has lectured at institutions such as George Mason University, while publishing widely on governance, human rights, and gender issues. His scholarly influence is profound, earning him accolades such as the Rockefeller Senior Scholar Award and the Senior Fulbright Scholar Award. We'll talk about his expertise later tonight as well, as it extends far beyond academia. Here's a man of action, having worked with political giants such as President John Kufuor and Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, R.R. Amponsa, Professor Edu Boahen, Peter Alajete, J.B. Darocha, Samuel Odoi Sykes to secure victory for the MPP in 2000. Well, diplomatically, he's been there, serving as Ghana's High Commissioner to India. Well, India, I must say, and further proving his versatility on the international stage. Tonight, you don't want to miss this conversation as we sit down with one of Ghana's true intellectual and political powerhouses. Here's Professor Aaron Mike Oquaye. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much.
And we need a handshake on this.
Oh, thanks.
That's it. Welcome to Star Chat.
I thought you were just going to talk about one particular matter.
Certainly, we're celebrating. We'll delve into that matter as well, Prof. But tonight, we want to know you well and also celebrate you for all that you've done. Well, this show is live on Starr 103.5 FM here in Accra. We are also live in Sekondi Takrady on Empire FM. We're live in Kumasi on Ultimate 106.9 FM. And of course, you get to watch us on GH1 television. Star Chat is brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. Haptel is everything you. Bill's Quick Microcredit, the Traku Woodlands, Star Assurance, and Top Choco. Taste, nutrition, energy. So once again, welcome, Prof. And what have you been up to these past few days?
Reading, writing.
Reading and writing. We are in your study. Lovely office filled with books, and we'll get into that. So you've been reading, you've been writing. Writing what, especially?
A few things about politics and a few things about life, too. I intend to publish an autobiography.
Interesting. So your autobiography is coming out soon.
By His grace.
By His grace. What are the timelines? When are we looking at that?
Oh, it's very difficult to tell.
But next year?
It's been worked upon.
Wow.
It is ongoing.
Prof, God has blessed you with, good genes. You look good for 80 plus. Good health, long life. What are some of the secrets? The younger ones are listening, we are watching. We want to know what has kept you aside the grace of God that you want to share with us.
My father, who lived to 93, taught us all moderation.
Everything in moderation.
Moderation.
Everything like what?
Oh, everything like all the things we do in life, including food.
Okay.
Including drink. Including the time you sleep. Even if you don't sleep enough, it's not good enough for you. And so on and so forth. Be moderate.
What time do you go to bed, if I may ask?
9.
Oh, by 9. You're...
But I'm not asleep by 9. But I go to bed at 9. I make sure that by 9
you're in bed.
I'm in the bed or around the bed.
Oh, so even if you're at a function and it travels,
that
is occasionally.
But I don't like night functions. If I don't even like dinners.
You don't?
No, unless I have to do it dutifully.
So it's a conscious effort. You get a lot of invitations by virtue of who you are.
I don't attend dinners unless I can't help it.
Do you drink alcohol?
But lunch is very good for me.
Lunch is good for you.
Yes.
Do you drink alcohol? Wine?
No, I don't.
Never taken in wine?
Oh, I have. Oh, I grew up as a regular young man. I was a preset boy.
Oh, preset boy. Oh, that
I was in the Kwafu Hall.
Oh, right.
How can you be in those places and you won't behave normally?
So normal is drinking and...
Oh, you taste some beer and in the common room. I can't sit here and be a hypocrite.
But you're a Baptist minister.
Well, those are latter days.
So the early days, you were indulging in all...
I say I was a normal young man from Presec.
Wow, interesting. We'll get to your good old days and we'll talk about it growing up and all of that. But do you miss Parliament, Right Honorable? You were there 2017 to 2021. Do you miss it?
In my life, I don't miss anything. When I say duty calls, I do my duty. And I move on according to the details and circumstances of the time. And I feel very content. But of course, I take keen interest in Parliament. Somehow, and as Right Honorable Babin will tell you, when Parliament regathered after the 1992 Constitution, that is 93, there were only 2 people in Parliament who had seen Parliament House before. One of them, Usa Champon, became the leader at that time. So everything had to be studied from the book. Right Honorable Babin was one of the smart young men. He is the oldest among all people in terms of Parliament, and a very strong member of Parliament. A man who had dedicated a lot of his time and life to Parliament. And we were teaching, that is, academics, were teaching members of Parliament the rules, the practices, and all those times. And I made a lot of contribution during that period, teaching from the book, the practices of Parliament. After that, I continued to be interested in parliamentary affairs. So much so that this is one of the reasons why ultimately I led in the process of the private members' bills and so on. So I had been thinking about Parliament, and I had written copiously on parliamentary matters and so on and so forth, including separation of powers and how Parliament might be stronger than it is, and so on and so forth. So a Parliament man, after 8 years as a member, I also became Deputy Speaker, which was also quite an experience until I became Speaker. And I therefore passed through Parliament in many ways. Therefore, parliamentary affairs are of interest to me.
Keen interest, and you pay attention to it. So you didn't just go through Parliament. Parliament went through you as well.
You're right.
What were some of the most significant memories? What do you have to share when you just recount your experience in Parliament? What comes up?
The contentious nature of our Parliament, by way of a complete dichotomy against us, us against them, we've got to stop.
It's unhealthy?
It's not healthy. We've got to build consensus. And by building consensus, we look at issues and share good opinion. Otherwise, this dichotomy approach will make people even stop thinking. This is my party's position, and therefore that's all. It is not too good. And I believe if we continue to learn from the best practices, as in, for example, in the United States of America, today we can't imagine a president who belongs to party A and the same person's party is in the minority. We think it is impossible. It is happening several times in America. We better learn to make it possible, because I believe that one time or the other, this will happen. It will happen.
It will.
It will happen.
Do you see that happening anytime soon?
I don't look at it in terms of how soon, but let's face it. So far as party politics is concerned, it will happen. After all, it nearly happened the last time,
True.
and it's not too long ago. So it will happen. So we better start joining more.
As a former speaker, what do you think accounts for this? Is the country polarized? Hence, that is affecting parliament as well, and people are becoming too party-centered and focused, and you see that to be dangerous.
It's not good enough. What you said is absolutely right. But you see, sometimes it blurs arguments. When an NDC person opens his or her mouth, NPP people are quickly at his throat. They wouldn't really listen. And vice versa. It's not good enough.
You are in Ghana's news trends today. I mean, you've gone viral since yesterday or saying that. And I'll come to that. But Haruna Idrisu cited your ruling against Formina MP. He wants 4 NPP MPs to lose their seats for going independent, an NDC MP as well. What will your ruling be if you were in the chair today?
Now, it's not a matter of the ruling. Ruling is the ultimate end result. How do you go about it? You see, a man found guilty of stealing must, of course, go to jail or be fined or whatever. That is the end result. But before you get to that end result position, there is a procedure. You put him before court.
During your time, did you write to the affected MP, the Formina MP, Isaac Esiama?
I did. I'm coming to that.
Sure.
And that is why I'm giving this analogy. A famous this judge said, when a man is caught with his hand in the till, he must nevertheless be given a hearing. Here you are, your hand is red right there. They've caught you. They must go and tell a judge all that happened, and then you say what you got to say. And it is very, very important, because that is the procedure. That is the road to edition. If you don't follow the road, you make a mistake. This is what we call in law the audi alteram partem rule. That is
the other party.
Hear the other party. No matter what. Don't say that, oh, we caught him. You caught him, yes, but he must be heard. I like, when I'm talking about this matter, to even refer to God himself. When God, who knows everything, knew and saw what Adam and Eve had done, he nevertheless asked them, what have you done? He gave them a long explanation chance. When they had finished, he pronounced them guilty and then the punishment. The NPP Secretary General wrote to the Speaker of Parliament in that case. He said, this member of Parliament of ours has broken our law and the law of the nation that is provided for in the Constitution. And that is, he has started campaigning as an independent candidate. If you leave the party and you stand as an independent by their constitution, you have committed an offense. Or if being a member of the party, you campaign in any way whatsoever against a candidate of the party, and the stated instances and how this had been done. attached, in fact, even a copy of the constitution, the internal constitution that the person had allegedly breached at that time. And they made it also clear that it means forfeiture of your party membership. All these were points in that particular letter and in that particular charge. You are guilty of forfeiture. And when you are guilty of that forfeiture, then the constitutional injunctions will come to apply. But that was an allegation. Why we talk about hearing the other party is that no matter what the allegation is, you must give him a chance to be heard. Today, some people were saying I was hypocritical because I had brought about the procedure. No, I'm not saying the ultimate result should be different. But what should you do?
You must hear them out.
You must hear the man out. In fact, if you don't hear a person out and he takes you to the High Court, what should be done even is to quash the sentence. It means that sentence, it does not, the whole thing does not even exist. They brush it away altogether. Completely. They cancel it out. So, I wrote as speaker to the honorable member, attached his accusations, etc., and gave him an opportunity to respond. Has that been done here? We are all hearing what.
So you are saying these are two different scenarios.
That is true.
But Prof, does it really matter that you have to formally receive a petition from a political party before you declare?
I'll come to that.
Yes.
But first of all, I'm saying the opportunity to be heard.
Okay. Hear the other party as well.
And you see, I know what happens in plenaries if we don't take care. Plenary argument should not be the way to find the person guilty or not. Let the guilty person have an opportunity to explain himself once there's a complaint. But if you don't bring that person in and you start making debate, two sides of parliament, this, that, and the banter, then the real proper way of doing things is lost.
So you believe that the right approach is that hear the other party?
Hear the other party. Because you say you've caught him with his hand in the till. Still, the law says, hear that party. Even God applied it. I'm not a hypocrite at all. But the procedure is very, very important in how you arrive at a conclusion. Fair trial is a fundamental law of the Constitution. And my brother, it's important to also tell you further. When you report to the matter to the speaker, you expect him to exercise a discretion. Is that not so? To make a judgment on a matter. Our Constitution also says in clear terms that anyone who has power to exercise a discretion in one way or the other, which affects anybody's rights under this Constitution, must exercise in terms of natural justice. You must apply the principles of natural justice. And the golden rule of natural justice is audi alteram partem. Hear the other person.
But that said, and about hearing the other party, back to my other question, does it really matter that you have to formally receive a petition from a political party before you declare?
I will come to that.
Yes, if you can address that for us.
But I want these two areas to be seriously looked at first and foremost. The person you are accusing, you have not heard from him. In fact, he is the first port of call. He is the person that you first of all be heard, so that the person may explain himself. But people are behaving as if those persons don't have explanation. That is not law. And I've quoted you that British judge.
Right.
Then I also say, that's the first thing. It means, therefore, that the procedure is important. And the procedure must lead to justice. If you bring the matter to the plenary, because somebody else had made the complaint, other than the political party, whatever, and you make it a debate, I say it may result in a banter, and one should be very careful. Secondly, you see, the law can be very interesting if you don't follow proper procedures. And that is where I'll give the history of this particular law. Where did it come from at all? It came from the 1969 Constitution, adopted in the 1979 Constitution, and repeated in the 1992 Constitution. The Constitution framers of 1969 thought about something that was carpet crossing. Carpet crossing was a very dangerous strategy that was used to destroy the opposition, apart from PDA, Preventive Detention Act, and so on. In other words, a person may be offered a post, and some people were given posts. A person may be threatened with detention. The next thing you see is that he has held a press conference and says, "From today, I've crossed carpet." People don't know some of these things. As a result, the Constitution provide against this and protect the political parties. If we want multi-party democracy, then we must protect the political parties. One way of protecting the political parties is to make the law in such a way that you prevent their members being pushed from parliament by threats or by promises. And this became part of us. So that protection was put there. And that is why we say if the person leaves his party and joins another party and so on and so forth, it is a party matter. It's a party provision. So you realize that in law also, very often they say, are you a beneficiary of this provision? Before you have locus. If you don't have locus in the matter, the law will frown upon you as an interferer on that particular little matter. Therefore, we should also now ask ourselves, is any political party complaining?
Interesting.
But it's very interesting, ultimately, the things that you hear in court. Is any political party complaining? Because the political parties, by the intention of the lawmaker, are the beneficiaries of this provision. And that is law. Then we have to answer that particular query. In the first place, a political party complained. And I like to make the analogy. It's like me and my wife being in the house and somebody sitting somewhere saying that there is trouble between the man and his wife.
When you have not.
And when I have not complained, I should know whether there is trouble or not. And I'll tell you, look, you are being funny. I'm here sitting there here with my wife. We are taking tea together. And you say there's trouble. What kind of troublemaker are you?
So you first and foremost believe that the approach is wrong and we should follow procedure.
I say the beneficiary
is not complaining.
Is not complaining. Then an innocent bystander moves from the position of innocence into a troubleshooter. And that is what we must carefully avoid. Because you know one thing too that can happen. The aim of the law is to protect political parties. Very soon, it can have a boomerang effect if you don't take care, and you make everybody a complainant. The political party will be there, majority and minority. A member of the majority complains that he has been told that a member of the minority is not satisfied with this, that, and that he has even made a press conference or an opening statement against his party. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, sack him. Then it becomes a banter in Parliament. The majority people all support him. That, yes, we heard that statement, therefore he must go. Have the party told you they want him to go, despite the disagreement? All right, then you subject it to what? A vote? Oh, if you subject it to a vote, the majority will get a vote, and then they will sack him. Then they will do that to reduce your minority even furthermore, and that will be mischievous. You see, when you are applying a law, we must look at the mischief rule perspective. What mischief will result if the law is applied in this way? But this can happen.
And from what you are witnessing, you believe that yes, this can happen. There's something mischievous in there. And if
you see, when I am speaking, I don't like accusing people of whatever. I only postulate the principle, and then you can feel in yourself. But we must be very, very careful that we don't create a situation that will rather boomerang. And that is why, if you look at the law, it clearly says the speaker shall declare the person's position vacant. But the speaker, in coming to that conclusion, must take the steps that I told you I took.
That's right.
Because the Constitution also says elsewhere that in exercising any discretion, I must go by the rules of natural justice. Therefore, I ask the man, my friend, this is what they are saying against you. Come and explain yourself. And so on and so forth.
And what you did, you've articulated it very well, and it leads me to my second question in terms of receiving a petition from a political party before you declare a seat vacant, just as happened in Isaac Esiame's case. I mean, what is your position on that?
Yeah, so I believe that is also an important second step in that matter, because you cannot be an innocent bystander, another Ghanaian also sitting somewhere else, and say this man actually he's against the party. He doesn't like his party at all. He's always speaking against the chairman of the party. Therefore, look, take him off. Then, because the whole thing now becomes conspiratorial, the majority vote on the plenary, at the plenary, and choke him off. And I say that is why the constitution makers didn't make this a parliamentary debate. They made it a duty of the speaker, who at that moment is acting like a Supreme Court judge, or I mean a very high judge. So he must look at the thing in terms of the provisions of law.
And that is what, Prof, you charge Speaker Bagban to do. If he agrees with your ruling in 2020, would you say he got it right?
No, I wouldn't. Once more, I wouldn't want to be adjudicatory of a particular situation. I am expounding what I believe is the proper practice. And when I finish that, somebody else may want to expound something else. That is none of my business. But I feel I'm obliged to let the world know how I came to my decision for the sake of posterity, and also to serve as a precedent for those who may want to follow it. But let me also add, I learned as early as lower six that Parliament is not bound by its predecessors. That is common law. Very simple. Everybody knows it. Okay? So nobody is saying now that Parliament should be bound by what I said. No. At all.
Okay.
But of course, best practices that have passed are also worth looking at. Speakers had said earlier that private members' bills cannot be held. I thought otherwise. I had a whole conference on it. It was not a one-day thing. Nana, Dr. SKB Asante, you see, and all the previous law chiefs and so on and so forth who had been involved in the drafting processes and so on, they were all brought to a conference. And then we made the prescription. Majority leader agreed, majority leader agreed, everybody. So there are things that you do by bringing other people in. When you have cited that, of course, everybody else can make his decision.
So for you, it's laying down the procedures and letting us know that, look, this is what it should be. I leave the rest to you to also then.
That is it.
Right. What is your assessment of the quality of debate in recent times in Parliament?
Oh, the quality of debate generally by themselves are good.
Okay.
In other words, people make very, very sensible contributions. One thing that I used to insist upon, and all members will tell you, is if you allege, you must prove. What I don't like is when people throw in things which they cannot establish. And then even figures become contradictory. I will let you prove what you are saying.
Right. I'm sure you watched the fights that happened in Parliament. I mean, how did that make you feel?
We mean which particular fight?
I mean, just 2021 after the elections, what ensued in Parliament with ballot boxes, with the voting boxes being snatched and people running away and sheets torn here and there. On that particular night, I'm sure you've seen videos if you weren't there physically. But how did that make you feel?
Oh, well, I think everybody felt it was unfortunate. And I will leave it at it being unfortunate. In fact, a number of people called me. I was in this very house and called me, but where are you? I said, oh, I'm in my house. What is the problem? And they were saying, if you are at home, then it's okay. I wishing that I will not be at that particular spot with the chaos. So it was unfortunate. But
do you condemn that act? And of course, it's happening in Parliament.
I wish others to make such.
No, but as a former speaker, you have the right to also say.
When I say
yes, it's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate. I will
condemn it.
I will leave it there. I will leave it.
You don't condemn it.
I will leave it. The fact that it's unfortunate, and of course, that which is unfortunate is not complimentary.
Certainly, I know. I know you're being diplomatic about it and all of that, but we wanted an outright condemnation or not. It's not as if you are siding with it, but you feel that it's unfortunate and must be condemned.
It's unfortunate, and I will leave it at that.
So many experienced parliamentarians will not be returning to the chamber in 2025. Some have lost primaries, citing the monetization of the primaries. How does that make you feel? I mean, as a former speaker, you've known these people, and many of them are not coming back. Others are saying it's going to affect the quality of work.
This matter is unfortunate. And it's also part of a central problem. We are not really applying the role of MPs well. MPs are saying they will make roads, they will do this, they will do that as a result of the people's push.
But isn't that wrong?
It's wrong, actually. But we are all guilty of it. We are all guilty of it. And in fact, the society expects you to do that. At one time, I was advocating that with regard to the common fund, they should leave all common fund to the assembly and let the assembly apply the common fund. The MP should help in directing how it should be done. He won't hold any money. She will not hold any money. In other words, no money will be given to him direct. He will not be involved in the dispensation of money, but he will rather inspect projects, whether the projects are going well, whether the money being paid to a contractor is fair enough, whether shoddy work is being done or not, and such things in his constituency. When this happens, nobody is going to come to the MP for money. They think they've got a bunch of money as common fund. It is not true. I can tell you. It is not.
That is not
true.
the case.
It is not true at
But
all.
many MPs go around promising and saying, "Oh, I'll do these roads. We'll help build that."
Because the people so expect.
But that's a lie. Then we are living a lie from day one, even from our leaders.
It is also unfortunate. It's true. But that is the fact of the matter. If they should detach themselves from common fund application, now they will be given part of the monies to do inspection, go around.
Right.
I think that will serve us better. And this is what happens in the countries that we are learning from. So nobody expects the MP.
Are you an advocate of that strongly, that we should, go that route?
I'm very strong about it. And I've said it on many occasions before. Take the MPs away from common fund. Let that be the business of MCs, hold them accountable for it, and the MP should be the first person who will lead that accountability business, because you cannot be the expenditure man and at the same time the accountability man. I personally will not be interested in that kind of situation.
But then that is the practice, Prof. How then do we cure that? Because it's happening.
It has even got to do with this fundamental principle of MPs as ministers. Honorable Seche Mensah Bonsu has spoken against it. Honorable Haruna Idrisu has spoken against it. Right Honorable Babi, one of the most respected men in Ghana's parliamentary history, has spoken against it. I have also spoken against it. In fact, all lovers of parliament have spoken against it.
It's not the best.
It's not the best at all.
Ministers who are MPs and it affects government business and development.
Exactly.
Right?
And also, it is actually a conflict of interest in the long run. Because, you see, a member of parliament is chairman of a state corporation or a member of that state corporation. When the matter of that state corporation comes up, what does he do? He has to divide himself into two.
Some get to recuse themselves, or they say, well, I'll not be part of this.
That is why we must not start it in the first place. You cannot have this happening in America. But we want to have a presidential system. And yet we are not going like we did in 1979. In fact, we have messed up.
We have messed up?
Yes, we are confused. we have taken the British system in one
it suits us,
and then the American system on the other. Where are we going?
So what system are we practicing then? You are a political...
we are practicing confusion. And we reap the world.
Ghana is practicing confusion.
But how can you do that?
You're a political scientist. You've been there, you've lectured, and you know the best practice.
I've written on it.
But you were part of the government. Why you are a speaker?
Oh, I've spoken against it even in parliament, in government. You don't have enough time to do the work excellently. It's a confession. Somebody says confession of a witch. Yeah, because I've done that job before.
You don't have, so one will suffer ultimately.
One or the other will suffer. Yes. So why don't you go the American way? And also, you see, it develops a certain esprit de corps among members of the legislature. They are there. We are here.
Yes.
So when we are examining them, we are examining them not like colleagues, but we examine them critically. This is what we need in Ghana. This is what we need in Ghana.
Well said. We'll be going for a break, and when we return, we have a lot coming up. But then I want to pick up your mind on this. You lost to...
Off camera or on camera?
On camera. Before we go for the break, I want to pick your thoughts on this. You lost to Speaker Right Honorable Alban Kingsford Sumani, Bagbena Speaker of Parliament in 2021. Were you disappointed? What went through that evening for you? How was it?
You'll be surprised. I had a very good sleep.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Many said, well, you took ill, you were disappointed. People say you even fainted. And I said, no, the man came home.
If my people were here, they would tell you.
Right.
I slept very, very well today.
Soundly.
My wife was by me. I was cool. And I really believe it's all okay.
That night, were you in Parliament?
I was there earlier, and I came back home.
So you slept soundly.
It was no crisis.
Contrary to what people said that, oh, you were disappointed and you didn't know how to manage the loss.
No.
First time, tell us about that fateful evening. You were there with your wife, came home, you watched proceedings?
When I watched proceedings, okay. Yes, I watched proceedings. And, incidentally, there was no result. You can never say that the votes went 25 against 24 or whatever. There was no result. There was only one box that was counted. And then there was commotion. How many people voted the other way on the other one? But it's not...
You weren't ready to challenge that or to say
no, it was not. It wasn't necessary.
You're a man of peace, definitely. I mean, a reverend minister and all of that. You said one box was just counted. Somebody would have made a case and said, well,
Oh,
it
definitely.
ended up in confusion.
In terms of law, I know. One box was counted. You don't know what is in the other box. Then how can you come to a conclusion? After every vote, you have to say, oh, the votes went 400 against 200 or whatever. Is that not so?
True.
There's no such record on Parliament. From Parliament. There's none.
People say some of your own party members voted against you. Were you surprised that some members of your own party?
Oh, those ones were all matters of speculation and other extra outside the situation things. They don't matter.
They don't.
No.
You're a good man. You're a strong man. You don't take certain things to heart. You feel that, well, it's happening.
And then for those who speculate on other people's health and this and that, they better think of themselves.
Because you want to tell them that, look, you're a strong man at 80 plus, you're going, it's only God.
By the grace of God. I'm fine. Yeah.
People were saying that you were carried in a wheelchair, you were put in the car, you had collapsed. All this didn't happen.
No. Of course, I tell you, in the name of the Lord, nothing like that happened. Nothing like that happened.
You slept soundly. You were with your wife.
I slept.
We'll come back after the break and talk about family and how you've kept them together and all of that. But before that, what's your relationship with the current Speaker of Parliament? What's the last? Very good?
Very good. He calls me his teacher. Wow. Graciously does so. Because I told you, I taught the first batch of members among other lecturers. Yes. And we have very good relationship. And in fact, he's a good man who deserves where he is.
He's a good man who deserves where he is.
Yes, and he has served Parliament well.
He's paid his dues.
Yes, he's paid his dues.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate?
He was there right from 1993.
Yeah, correct.
You know, the Parliamentary Service Board, it has majority leader, minority leader, and one or two others. I brought Right Honorable Babin to the board as an ex-official member.
Oh, you did?
As well as Honorable Joe Wise. Joe
Osei-Wusu. Happy for Oquaye, yes.
Yes. These were men who knew Parliament. They were seasoned and they had something to offer. I didn't like the idea of the board meeting and they will not be there to share their good experience. I brought them on the board as ex-official members. So, God being so good, when Right Honorable Babin came into the office, he had the whole experience of the previous board. You see how God does his things. So naturally, it will be easy for him to continue. And that's what we should do.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate his leadership?
Those ones, they are too direct.
Well, maybe you give him an 8, a 7, a 9.
I wouldn't want to.
But above 6?
I wouldn't want to start rating my successor.
Right.
It will be unfortunate.
Well, I'll grant you that. But we're going for a short break. When we return, there's a lot more. We'll talk family. We'll talk the Electoral Commission. We'll talk about December 7 elections. You're on Star Chat right here on Starr FM. My name is Bolare. We'll be right back. And you're still on Star Chat. Proudly brought to you by MTN everywhere you go. And also Starr Assurance. We're saying a very big thank you to Starr Assurance for being our partners, to Hubtel. Thank you, Hubtel. Well, let me tell you about Starr Motor Third Party Extra. Protect your vehicle, change lives. At Starr Insurance, we believe in driving change, not just vehicles. Well, do you know that our enhanced Starr Motor Third Party Extra policy is just for you, designed to give you peace of mind while you're making a meaningful impact in the lives of children in need. So for every Starr Motor Third Party Insurance you buy, you contribute 5 Ghana cedis to Hope for Little Lives. That's an NGO that's working tirelessly to improve the lives of underprivileged children. So it's simple. Go for it. It's the Starr Motor Third Party Insurance. Choose it and whoa, change lives today. Put a smile on the faces of children in need while also securing the protection that you need. It's simple. Call us on 0302 24 5908 or our toll-free number 0800 177 177. Well, time for me to tell you about Orca Decor. Get blown away by Orca Decor. Well, Orca is introducing the Orca Discount Outlet, your one-stop shop for massive discounts. And this is happening at my favorite store, Orca Decor. So drive into the world and get up to 60% off variety of products, including home furniture, home accessories, and more. Isn't that amazing? It's only happening at Orca Decor. You don't want to miss out on this incredible opportunity to save big with up to 60% off your favorite items. So a visit to Orca today will guarantee you that. It's the Orca Discount Outlet. Go out there today. It's on the Spintex Road and experience shopping like never before. Well, time for me to tell you about Top Choco. There's nothing more pleasing than Top Choco chocolate spread on bread. It has the power to awaken your taste buds and give you something spectacular. It's the Top Choco 3-in-1 instant mix. It's for the family and it's for everyone, suitable for everyone in the family. Children can take it to school and imagine serving these cups at birthday parties, picnics, or even gatherings. It's chocolatey treats. Go for it. Top Choco, just for everyone. And time for me to tell you about Tesprom Estates. Well, good news for all government and private workers, traders, well, artisans, businessmen and women, religious organizations. Let's build your dream house, office, or place of worship in 1 year. And you are getting a 15-year payment plan. So in 1 year, we put it up for you, but you get to pay in 15 years. Have a stress-free package for 15 years. All you need to enjoy this offer is to have a registered land or an ongoing project. We'll come to you, pick up the project, and we'll present you with a modern design to choose from. We are Tesprom. It's just for you. And we'll build from foundation. In 1 year, we'll hand over the keys to you. So we are at Achimota New Plan near the Melcom. And you can call us on 0549 642 177. That's 0549 642 177. Or send us a WhatsApp on 0241 237 379. Tesprom Estate Limited. We build your dream house. Well, have you ever thought about what true convenience means? Let's keep this simple. Convenience is finding easy solutions to everyday hassles, and MTN is providing you this. Convenient healthcare for everyone is MCare from MTN. Let's face it, being sick is no fun, and neither is waiting in long queues for healthcare. But with MCare from MTN, we're giving you packages to choose from, 10 Ghana cedis to 160 Ghana cedis per month. So that's for everyone. It's MTN MCare, medical care anytime, anywhere, in an efficient e-pharmacy with medication delivered to you. So MTN, everywhere you go, brings you MTN. Well, time for me to tell you about MTN Summitro. But this, you get to buy now and you pay later. So if you want a sleek, trendy smartphone, you get to enjoy the luxury of paying conveniently weekly, monthly, and that is an installment. All you have to do is to walk into any MTN service center, choose your favorite phone. That's from a wide range of mobile phones on offer. MTN is giving you this great offer. You don't want to miss out on that. I bet you need a new phone. Why not? MTN says, be part of this deal. All phones will come up to something great with 2 GB free data. So 2 gigabytes for you. You can share your pictures and get all the biggest scoops online for the first 6 months after purchase. Only from MTN. So go on. Share the exciting news with your family and friends and tell them you can actually go out there to MTN, get a phone, and pay later. That's the smart side of life. MTN, everywhere you go. Welcome back to Star Chat. And our guest is the indefatigable Professor Aaron Mike Oquaye, former Speaker of the Parliament of Ghana. Welcome back, Prof.
Thank you very much.
Right. So, on the discussion, I want us to delve a bit into the Electoral Commission. Many have talked about it living up to expectation. Others have also commended them and all of that. But if you've been following some of the criticisms, they're saying that, and that's coming from other political parties, you've raised concerns, including the NDC, and their concerns are a lot. I mean, they have issues with the Electoral Commission and some of its ways in terms of how the registration went, and even the register itself. Do you believe that some of the concerns in there by the political parties and the NDC are valid?
Oh, with regard to registers, because ab initio, that is from the very beginning, a register may have problems. Sometimes you type something on the computer, and as you cut and paste, you find something has gone more than what you intended. The devil's ink or pen can be very interesting, as journalists know well. And that is the reason why the law provides for an exhibition. Therefore, it's very useful for political parties rather to help to teach and instruct their people, go and check and help that process. If you find one mistake or the other, don't start saying the world has come to an end, because that is the purpose of that very exercise of exhibition.
So there will be genuine mistakes.
There will be, and it should be so expected. When I was chairman of the committee on the MPP presidential primaries, we instituted for the first time checking of the register, because I know from experience that there had been register problems over the years. In other words, I didn't find my name, and this name was there, and so on and so forth. Therefore, we brought that in as one of the prerequisites and gave 1 whole month for people to come and complain if necessary, and gave a whole register to every contestant to go and check. So that procedure should not raise eyebrows at all by itself. Now, one thing really worried me at one stage. If the NDC, a respectable political party in the system in Ghana, says some 250,000 people have been taken out or added in or whatever, it's a very serious allegation. And as a Ghanaian, I will stand and stare, and I would like to know, wow, what is happening? So it was to my surprise that later on it became clear that they had made this allegation to the commission, and they had promised the commission that they were going to bring a list of those names. In fact, up to today, that list has not come to them. Now, that is serious. That is very, very serious to any innocent bystander. What kind of confusion do some people want to bring into the country?
So when the NDC made that, comment or allegation, you realized that there was some, they had a right to do that, and you were worried that it should be looked at.
If it is true, they had 100% and one right to do so.
So it's for them to prove.
Now they say bring the proof so that we can work on it. It has not come till today, but that is a very, very serious matter. And now, if whether it's MPP or CPP, no political party should make such allegations, because you see they pollute the political hemisphere unnecessarily. People went on demonstration on this. Did they know that this was a lie?
So their demand for a voter roll audit, you're saying that in itself is or can't be right for a voter roll audit, but you must prove.
You must show why. And they said they had all these misdoings. Then you must prove it. If my party should do a thing like that, I'll be one of the first to complain.
You will.
I'm known for it. I'll be one of the first to complain. Because we cannot just be throwing things into the political hemisphere. I am sad about a reference I want to even make further. At one time, during the NDC chairmanship contest, where Asidu Ketia won, he made an allegation that the former chairman, one of the things against him was that he could not produce certain names which they said, the evidence which they said existed, and for that matter, he misled the whole party.
That is Ofosu.
That is Ofosu Ampofu. Now we know this was said into the system. You want to tell us that you went to court on a false premise, and that all those things that were saying, you didn't have the evidence, but that is what he said. It's on record. And such things, please, let us be serious and honest a bit about the politics. These are some of the things that I was concerned with. That day when the political parties were called, I listened from the beginning to the end. And I was very, very much impressed with the conclusion of the EC chairperson. Very brilliant and very honest. And I think she must be taken far more seriously than some people are pretending to do.
That is Jane Adukoya-Mensah. You believe that she's up to the task, she knows what she's about, and we should hold her in high esteem.
Yes, and incidentally, we are lucky because she has been involved in these political parties and elections issues for several years at the IEA. I was part of the IEA team together with Honorable Kwame Oquaye and others. Kwame Oquaye, he will tell you I'm his good partner.
Oh, you and Kwame Oquaye,
yes,
of the NDC, you are great partners.
Yes, because we analyze things scientifically. And in many of the things that happened at the IEA, including the transition bill was a product of the IEA. And Kwame Oquaye and myself were co-representatives of the two political factions. And we did a good work together. And we get on very, very well. Intellectually.
Till date, yes.
Oh, till date.
You've been a strong advocate for constitutional governance in Ghana, Prof. Regarding the recent arrest of some protesters from the Democracy Hub, were you surprised that the youth were detained for 2 weeks before being granted bail? Be sincere with us.
I seriously believe in human rights. I was concerned about a few things. A demonstration must be a decent event. You are holding placards and you are telling a story that you are against this or that. It is a right that is protected under the Constitution. In fact, I was a member of the legal team that brought the first case on the right to demonstrate, with Peter Ajete as the head of it and Kufuor as the advocate in court, and so on and so forth. And I believe very much in that. Now, in one of the judgments on this, it was said, when you deviate from demonstration into attacks on others, then you declare yourself illegal. And we must also watch this. The police, in that landmark judgment of the Supreme Court, said among the court said, among other things, that the police are there to protect the demonstrators. They are not there to inhibit them, which is true. So they stand on both sides and give you the way to demonstrate peacefully. Because you see, they forget that the police is their friend on that occasion sometimes. But without the police, when MPP people are demonstrating, we can also have NDC people come to counter demonstrate. And vice versa. Well, then the country become what? A jungle? So while the police are there, please don't attack them. That's one thing. If you attack the police, then you enter the illegality regime. And in fact, the organizers of such a demonstration should themselves even condemn those people. Because you cannot do anything illegal. How do you go and take a policeman's the keys to the car? Is that true? I mean, if that happens,
yeah, there was a video to it.
Yes. How can you justify that? And in fact, all right-thinking people must condemn it. You cannot do that.
But then others were also bundled up. So many were
Well,
added to it
I
for them
don't
to be detained for 2 weeks.
I don't know what they did. We
Okay.
are coming to that.
Right.
Then I saw people occupying the entrance to military hospital. 37.
That is wrong.
It is criminal. And I heard, and it can be replayed, some people saying that they will prevent them and fire. That will be a year demonstration. Joining. Now, you see, you are not going to make life uncomfortable for some other Ghanaians so that they will come and join you. That's not the purpose of a demonstration. People must be taught a lot of things. When the police take you to court, they have done their bit. How it ends up there as to whether you are given bail or not. All those things must go by the principles of bail duly established by law. I'm not privy to the inner proceedings to tell why certain particular persons were not bailed. But mind you, some others were bailed.
Right.
So as to the special circumstances of individuals, it's very difficult to tell. But when they talk about those who were not bailed, they must also talk about those who were bailed.
Interesting. Let's move on to the Galamsey menace now. Are we handling it well as a country from where you sit? And if you have some suggestions as well, what do we have to do to solve the problems, Prof?
Galamsey breaks my heart. And in fact, I will not pray for anybody who is benefiting from Galamsey.
You will not?
I will not.
If they were your church members, you
I will not. I will not. I will tell you to go and cure yourself before you come. It's wicked. The financial benefit to individuals that make them undertake these wicked activities that will hurt others, maim or kill others is a very serious matter. First year in Parliament, as Speaker, I called a conference on Galamsey. It's on the record. And I can give you a copy of my paper which I had even earlier delivered in an international conference on this particular matter. I remember the contributions of Honorable Chairman Sabosu, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, and those nice leaders in Parliament at that particular time. We thought we could also participate in the process. It's unfortunate that somewhere along the line, we lost that momentum. And it has got to do, I believe, with this tendency of virtually leaving everything to the executive. But I would charge Parliament, even now and in the future, take hold of some of these national issues.
Parliament should be at the forefront of that.
Take hold. You are the representatives of the people. No wonder at one time Parliament was put in the back burner with regard to even laws when they are the lawmakers. But you say you cannot institute laws. When somebody comes to bring the proposal, then you pass them. So sit down and fold your arms and wait for the executive. What kind of parliament can that be? It's a very serious matter. Parliament must sit up and claim their own. And that is why that dichotomy approach is so dangerous to us. You know, they should be working together. Minority, majority, they should be working together. Because the things that unite us are more than the things that divide us.
Interesting thoughts on that. So we're talking about the solution. You've preferred some of it, that let's work together. Parliament should be at the forefront of it. But also for the executive, has it done enough? And be honest with us, be sincere.
Yes.
Has the executive done enough to fight with Galamsey?
Compared with other antecedents, the government has done a lot. They've not worked this to its final conclusion. And let me tell you honestly, I believe that the hypocrisy has put some stills on the hands and legs of the government party. Because you see, whilst they were going ahead dealing with Kalamse people in the bush, others were going about clandestinely and assuring them that when we come to power, we will let you do Kalamse. And unfortunately, the NDC candidate was heard openly saying that he will grant the Galamseyers amnesty. Now, then you are very, very strong on it. So they poured some.
But what is wrong and what is right. So if your government believes that, or we are looking at votes at the expense of lives.
That is why there must be a national consensus on the matter. That is why there must be a joint declaration on the matter. And all men and women of goodwill must insist.
Are you going to advocate for that? And look, this should happen, and we should see those leaders sign openly.
It should be done openly. Wow. Let them come and sign to it. Let them know that when Bawumia comes, he will do this. And then if Mahama should win, he will also do it.
If there's a national push and call for that, would you support?
I will support it. It's very, very important because, see, we must stop the hypocrisy. This is one thing. People want to talk about the fact that the MPP has not done enough and so forth. That is it. But be honest and look at the thing in totality. Because nobody says that yes. So if we are doing it, let's do it right. But the man who goes clandestinely, and there have been pictures and videos on them, going and telling them, assuring them that they will allow them to do the Galamsey. Then as for him, he keeps on always jeopardizing his own political chances and so on and so forth. When we know that the country is really, at least for 40%, every political party has at any given time, the two political parties.
Wow. So that is it for Galamsey. Now let's talk about some of the books and also articles that you've written, and I read some of your books as well. But with regards to democracy and African governance, you've written extensively on that. In your view, what are the key challenges facing African nations? I just got back from the Ivory Coast at the Global Citizen Summit in terms of African development economically. And you could tell that we have a long way to go as Africans. All the men are saying the future is Africa. What are the challenges, key challenges from where you sit, facing African nations?
How can the future be Africa when we keep going backwards? It's a very serious matter. How can the future be Africa when Africa cannot be in control of what God has given us? If some people have been given ICT wizardry, for now we have not got it. What do we have at all? Beyond the 17th IMF, what is the quo-vadis for Ghana? That is, where are we going? Are we going?
We have arable lands. We have youthful population. Yes. Why is Africa not there, Prof?
That is the thing that we must seriously examine. Should we perennially go to IMF? We come, we suffer, and then we go. It is because we are not in control of what God has given us. Gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese, oil, lithium.
You are in government, Prof. Why are your people not doing that? Why is it not being done?
All governments. Why? And you see, this is one area that civil society must seriously advocate and let the politicians take the cue, whether they like it or not. If they say it is lithium, and please, my brother, who knows what lithium will do for us?
Correct.
Because nobody has touched the tip of that resource. We know that battery is in one form or the other is going to be the future.
Correct.
And we have got it.
Look at our mobile phones and tablets. That's what we do. Yeah.
Everything with battery, including space exploration. And now we don't know what will happen to our lithium. I personally, I want partnership.
You want partnership?
I want partnership as a Ghanaian.
Okay.
I want partnership. Talo, look at what they are doing to us now. When they came begging to handle oil in the deep sea, they have got a well-identified tax to pay. Then they are not paying. They say they have borrowed to do this, that. And they want to deduct all that interest and things from what they are to pay us. And they are doing us dilly-dally. And they are able to do so. We go to an international court, we come back here and we are dancing around the problem. Have civil society really asked, what is the problem and what can we do? Because we are talking about billions and we need only a few millions from World Bank. What are you people doing? So, and these things are honestly,
it breaks your heart.
Very, very serious. We need, and this is why I say sometimes we major in minors. Whilst we are fighting around, we don't look at this. If we have a joint venture, and I'll say this for posterity, over these matters, then we shall also be on the board. If you have the CEO, I have the chief accountant.
So there should be some local partnership or some local share.
After all, I'm bringing the land which holds the golden egg.
Yes.
Is that not so? And I also, therefore, will want to be part and parcel of it. Let us forget about royalties. Royalties is a colonial heritage. It's a thing of the past. The world in other countries are practicing a new paradigm. They are practicing a new paradigm. And this hasn't got to do with MPP, NDC. It has got to do with Ghana. There's a new paradigm. That new partnership, that new paradigm is the new partnership.
Should we do that for our cocoa as well? Add value.
Everything that has got to do with what God has given us. Otherwise, in no time, we'll go back to IMF. Yes.
That is deep. And Prof, also we want to know from you, as one of the founding fathers of the MPP, from where you sit, all that you've listened to, and how things are going around, can the MPP break the 8?
Oh, yes, there's every possibility. You know, Dr. Bawumia is a genius. I will not stop saying it. I knew him well as a person, hard-working economist. When I was doing the deregulation, it involves a lot of calculations as to the future of government not subsidizing oil anymore. He was the kingpin behind that. I also worked with him as communication minister with regard to getting a transaction advisor of international acclaim before we started the process. He brought it. It brought transparency into the process. His advice is always good, always on transparency and due process. His digitalization dream and the action he's taking so far on them is the future.
So you are saying that, yes, it is possible for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to be Ghana's next president. You've heard of President Mohammed's 24-hour economy.
Yeah.
Do you think it is possible?
Now, 24-hour economy, to my mind, is an end result. It's not a policy. What do you mean? You are going to create 24-hour work. You do something.
8-hour shift. creating employment.
Yes, you do something. The employment is there. The private factories are churning. You bring business process outsourcing, and people are working when America is sleeping, and so on and so forth. The 24-hour economy will come. It will come as a result of this. So that when Dr. Bawumia now tells you that he will lead us in a way whereby 1 million Ghanaians will be involved in BPOs, business process outsourcing, working with America, working with Australia, and so on and so forth. The 24-hour economy.
So Dr. Bawumia will practice 24-hour with what he's going to put in place.
I say it will be a result of a sound, strong economy.
So you believe in the 24-hour economy?
Who doesn't believe in 24-hour economy? I say it is a result of good policies and an economic boom.
And President Mahama says he will do that.
No, he cannot do that as the policy. He can, when you pursue certain good policies, then it will come as a result. And for example, they even talk about the civil service, more employment for the passport office, yes. So that they will do it. Where in this world do they have a passport office which works 24 hours a day? Where?
But you can go online, you can get. So you're not talking about the physical office being open 24 hours.
Exactly. You don't have civil servants working 24 hours a day.
But in certain production, sectors, they will do that.
Exactly.
Manufacturing sectors, they'll do that.
Yes.
Drink companies now can have an 8-hour shift.
But the point is that, you see, what is preventing a drink company from having 24 hours
now?
Today? No. That's why I say it is an end result of a policy rather than a policy by
itself. So you are saying that if people want to practice, let's say a confectionery industry can say we want to do 24 hours, and they can do that now.
Do they need anybody's permission? Do they need anybody's permission to do that? No, you don't need anybody's permission. And that's why I'm saying it's not a policy. It is an end result of a stimulating policy or a chain of stimulating policies that move the economy beyond 8 hours.
So, Prof, now if a restaurant wants to operate 24 hours, it can.
But why not? And some
restaurants are doing that.
Exactly.
Yes.
There are areas where are doing that. It's not you who permits them.
But you create an enabling environment.
Exactly. When the economy is booming, it will come by itself. So you must tell us what you are going to do to boom the economy. And Bawumia tells us what he will do to have that booming economy because of the fact that we are going to do BPOs and so on and so forth, which will bring that end result.
You're a very good friend to the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo, and I want to pick your thoughts on this. What's his best legacy, or what will be his best legacy?
Free SHS. Yeah. And free SHS, I must say, was conceptualized by the president the moment he started campaigning for president.
Really? So that dates back to 2006, 2007, before 2008 elections. Yes. Oh, he had that.
He had that, I can tell you.
Oh.
In his first attempt, it was part of his speeches. And he never kept on sharing this with me personally and others, that the way to change this nation is by education. And that the human capital is that which will make this nation great.
So free SHS is to President Akufo-Addo. What about President Mahama? What's his best legacy?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't.
President Mahama's legacy?
I don't have any particular, public policy as is happening now.
So nothing for his legacy? During his tenure,
They can say, for example, that he built this or he built that.
Yes, the e-blocks, the schools, health centers.
But in terms of that the grand policy.
He did Rich Hospital. You don't see
yeah,
that.
that is not a policy.
Yeah,
That
no,
is
I said legacy. I didn't
legacy.
say policy.
Okay, you are
yes,
right.
so
You are very right.
legacy. Yes,
But those are not.
Terminal 3 airport. You fly through that.
They are great.
Is that a great legacy? You want to salute President
No,
Mahama?
I don't know whether it's a great legacy, but it's an achievement.
It's an achievement.
It's an achievement,
but not really a legacy.
Not
It's
really
not momentous enough to end that.
Not really a legacy. Not really a legacy.
Wow. Interesting. We'll talk about your leadership as well. You've held various leadership roles throughout your career. How do you personally define leadership? And what traits do you look out for one to be an effective leader? I mean, I know you back from the University of Ghana. Students will talk highly and speak highly of you from your political science department. You talk to some of your church members. He says a good reverend minister. You wear many hats. You talk to parliamentarians, great speaker. What makes an effective leader from what you said?
Effective leader, you must be ahead of your people and yet you must be among them.
Lead and serve. How do you do that?
How to lead them and yet be among them is very, very important.
That is deep.
Yes. You cannot leave them behind. Because otherwise, when you are too far away, you won't be leading them. They will get lost behind you because you are far gone. At the same time, you must be in the front. And you must listen to them. And you must care about them. You know what? I believe that one of the reasons that have made me have a good relationship with many of my former constituents and others is that I care about people.
Compassion.
You must care. And I thank God for it. And I'm seriously speaking to you about that. I care about human beings. People bring all manner of problems that I don't know. People call me from Wa.
To date?
Yes. And they seriously, people are going to be discharged in the hospital. They call me. I go see them and I go help them.
God bless.
It is just, and if you are a leader who doesn't have compassion, you are not going to take the people anywhere. And I will want to remind all future leaders in this country, our people are poor. Our people are poor. Have compassion on them. When you are buying something beyond a certain price, have compassion on them. When you are living in a certain kind of superfluous luxury, have compassion on them. Because you have chosen to be their leader and they are looking up to you.
Interesting. And that is very insightful and thoughtful of you as well, and very deep. Did we have to build or does Ghana need a national cathedral?
That matter,
and be sincere and honest.
It's very, very unfortunate a matter. I made a donation.
Oh, you did?
From the beginning, yes. At least a little donation. It's unfortunate the way it went. Unfortunate in the sense that if the churches themselves had taken full control of this and the state helping them, I think the end result would have been different. Pentecost has got a center far bigger than what was contemplated. They've done it before. And others. I will want that in future, when a leader conceptualizes such a thing, others should be more involved in it.
Did we get it wrong with this?
There, I think we had a problem. Others could have helped.
Do we still need it?
And if others could have helped, perhaps we would not have even needed all that money. Because the churches have a way of honestly working to attain certain results.
On that score, would you say that churches disappointed the dream.
No, I wouldn't
the
say so
vision.
at all. They were the people who are not involved enough. How can they disappoint the dream?
No, but they didn't make it happen. I mean, they weren't involved
Yes.
in that sense.
That is the thing. They had to be more involved.
Mhm.
But the point is that the state is stronger. If you leave it to the church, they will do.
They'll do it.
But leave it to them.
Leave it to the church.
Yes,
do it.
leave it to the church.
The state shouldn't have gotten involved in that.
The state could be a stimulator.
A stimulate, okay.
To stimulate it.
But not to
promote
it.
But not to control it and manage it.
Interesting. Do we need a presidential debate? Should Ghana institutionalize it?
I think it would be useful. If you want to be our president, we should hear you. And this is I like the way you put it, institutionalize it. You see, if you leave it to, you leave certain things to Africans, they are not going to do it fairly. Why? Because today you benefit from the debate. Tomorrow you say you won't do the debate because you are watching certain things and you want to go your way. This is wrong. This is wrong. I don't care whoever does it. It's wrong. If it is there, then maybe we may as well institutionalize it by making a law on that particular thing. In America, they don't need a law, but they are doing it. In Ghana, we may need a law in order to do it because of sometimes our nature.
Right. Well, we just have about some 10 minutes to wrap up, but let's get to meet you. Where were you born, Prof?
Where?
Yes.
I was born in Kolebu.
Oh, in Kolebu?
Yes.
Wow, 1944.
Yes.
Wow.
4444.
Oh,
the fourth day of the fourth month in the year 1944.
Yeah, special being.
I don't know, but that is
my. How was growing up for you? I know, yes, before Presec was where?
Oh, Asimankesi.
Oh,
I went to Asimankesi when I was age 3-4. My father was working there as a cocoa merchant and an importer-exporter.
Oh, you came from a good home then?
Oh, good, maybe because it was my parents were Christian, serious Christian people. My father was a presbyter, a well-disciplined person, not a harsh disciplinarian, but he would teach you the tenets and principles of life.
And averagely rich.
Oh, quite. Yes, he had a number of story buildings in Osu.
Oh, in Osu? Yes. Although you were in Asamankese, you...
Yeah, yes, but that was his workstation. But he was always here whenever it mattered. In fact, for some time, my mother used to be in Accra and my father in Osu. And my father in Asamankese.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you got into Presec. In thy light we shall see light. Illuminato, what's the motto again?
With the bimus lumen. Illuminato.
Illuminato.
With the bimus lumen. In thy light
we shall see light.
In God's light we shall see light. No matter how impoverished or poor or whatever you are, if you follow the light of God, you'll get there.
Which year did you enter this grade school?
58.
1958. How was Presec like? Which house were you in?
House 2. Oh, Presec was not any wonderful thing to write home about in terms of our surroundings. It was a typical Presbyterian boys' school. And they didn't care about us like they cared about the girls in Aburi. The girls were living in a fire.
It was still here at Legon at the same.
No. It was in Dumasi Krobo.
Oh, Dumasi Krobo. Okay.
If you know any of the Salem schools,
those
wooden buildings.
Yes.
That's
how Presec was like.
That's how Presec was at that time.
And that's where you were.
That's where we were.
Dumasi Krobo.
But discipline is very important in life. If you give a child discipline, you're giving him life.
If you give a child discipline,
you have given him life. Because the teachers themselves were disciplined. They were not people who told you to do one thing and did the other. Oh, I remember as a small boy, my senior housemaster, D.O. Bampo, if you saw his sandals, you would go and polish your shoe. Yes, by example, the Achimota sandals that we were wearing, he was wearing the same thing. And you could see it shine. Polished. You just had to see with your eye, and something will talk to you. These were wonderful men, men of God too. They taught us no extra classes thing.
There wasn't any extra classes or
the extra
vacation classes back then.
All those things were voluntary.
Oh.
If he saw that something was lacking in the class, he would tell you, we're going to have an extra class.
So he won't do that for
free.
For money, not also for free.
He wants all the A's in his column.
The good old days indeed. So nothing was done based on monetary gains.
They were not looking for money. Because that's what we experienced anyway. They were not looking for money. They never asked for it. So how can you say they were looking for it? Yet they went beyond the normal call of duty.
You did 1 to upper 6 there?
No, I did 6th form in Apam Secondary School.
Oh, Apam.
That was when I started talking to you about when I was doing government.
Oh, right.
It was a fine school.
Apam Secondary School. Yes, my dad was there. So your motto is it Obrapa? Yes. Apam Secondary School. But let's stay with President. You had a nickname back then?
No, incidentally, I didn't qualify for a nickname.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't know what happened.
Must one qualify for a nickname?
I don't know what happens, but
you were called what?
This was
Aaron Mike.
Yes, I was then mostly Aaron Oquaye.
Aaron Oquaye.
I added Mike myself. My father gave me Aaron, and I added Michael.
When?
Oh, Michael! I added it early when I was being confirmed in the Catholic faith.
Wow.
And then it was put on hold. My father never called me Michael all his life. He called only his Aaron. But I had both.
You had both.
And later on, it became more fashionable.
Aaron Michael.
No, they used to call me Mike Oquaye. My good friends. And they virtually made that come to stay. But fully, yes.
Why Michael? Why of all the names? Why not Solomon?
Because,
why not Nathan?
The father who baptized me, who confirmed me, was Michael.
So Preset Legon, at the time, your girls were Brie girls still, or not?
Oh yes,
it's always been.
Oh, it has always been. I almost everybody had a sister there.
A sister or a girlfriend?
Or a girlfriend.
Okay. You had a girlfriend back then at the Brie girls?
Oh yes, a pen pal, I would say.
Oh, a pen pal. You used to write letters and pen missives.
Oh yes.
Oh. So it wasn't any infatuation, no love. That's why you had your first girlfriend, right?
You call it infatuation, right? It was not really anything.
You remember her name?
Serious.
She's still around?
Oh, yes. That young lady is still around.
Oh, that young lady. You still vibe like we say now. Do you still talk now?
Oh, no, I don't see her.
Oh, but you know she's around.
But I know she's around because her brother was my classmate. And when the brother was 80, a year and a half, something ago, she was there.
Oh, you bumped into each other?
Yes.
So you recalled those great moments.
Good friends. That's
wow. Good friends.
Yes.
Nothing happened. You didn't go to the disco or anything like that.
Oh, those days things were more super than now.
Now life is on the roller coaster. Huh?
We're fast now.
Wow. And then you went to University of Ghana. You were in the Kwafu Hall.
Yes, I was in the Kwafu Hall.
Wow. A little bird whispered to me that you were there with Dr. Dufo. Is that right?
I was hall president. Dr. Dufo was my economics, my Minister of Finance. He managed my accounts. And the day he became Minister of Finance, he said, I baptized you. You tell him.
So you're very good friends with Dr. Dufo?
Oh, very good friends. Very good friends.
At the Kwafu Hall, you were all there?
Yes, the Kwafu Hall. Oh, they were very nice people. I was hall president.
Oh, right.
In our second year, with Bwachijan as my secretary.
Really?
Yes. Bwachijan was my very good friend.
Wow.
Very, very good friend.
Even, and to the PNDC days and all of that?
No, to the
AFRC days, yes.
I remember when they staged that coup.
Cool, yes.
He came to look for me in my house.
Major Bwachijan.
And I had conveniently escaped.
But that was your friend?
Yes.
And you thought he was coming?
Yes, I knew he would come for me to be part of them.
Oh.
And he told me later, yes, that's why I came.
He wanted to be part of the
He wanted to draft me in. I dodged.
Is it at Legon that you met your beautiful wife?
No, I met my wife later in life.
Also on campus, you didn't have any lady, any girlfriend?
Oh, no, on campus,
You
I didn't
dated
have
somebody?
a girlfriend on campus, but I
Oh,
had a
you didn't
girlfriend
extend?
outside campus.
Ah.
Yes.
You were how old? Like 20, 21?
Oh, I entered Legon, completed at 23.
Ah, sharp boy.
Those days. Yeah.
Sharp boy. So in your early 20s, you had a girlfriend, Minister Oquaye?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, wow.
Yes. But it was what we call puppy love, you see.
Puppy love.
Interestingly speaking.
So you're just nothing, you didn't.
Oh no, we're sober, I would say, in those days.
You used to go
This
out
time-
with her.
This time people are fast.
Wow. So that was the only girlfriend you had before you met your wife, or you were around for some time?
Actually, I
You're a handsome boy. The ladies.
When I finished university in 1967, I worked briefly at the Bank of Ghana at the issue department. That time we used to have holiday employment.
Okay.
And it was a very nice experience. After that, I went to the following year, I went to work also briefly at State Insurance. It was a good experience. And it was at State Insurance that I met my first wife.
Oh.
I married twice.
Okay.
That's where I met my first wife, who is the mother of my 4 boys.
Ah,
you see?
Right.
Unfortunately, we lost her due to from breast cancer at that time. We took her to England. My father was alive.
Which year was that?
When that first happened, it was in the first occasion was we came back to Ghana in 1974. She passed in 1978 December.
Oh.
You know, Dufo and others were all around.
Right.
We were very good colleagues then.
And then you remarried.
And then I later remarried a nurse at the 37 military, a very nice lady.
Yes.
Who also had 2 boys.
Oh, okay.
So we became a 6 boys family.
Oh, so you don't have any girl, you have 6 boys.
Yes, and we've lived like that. Now they've all left anyway.
Yes, you have soldiers.
Yes, of course.
Wow.
That's
What's so special about your wife? I mean, one thing. No, the current wife.
No, I don't have a wife now.
Oh, you don't have a wife now. You lost a wife. Yes, exactly.
Recently.
Yes, recently. So what about her? Fond memories. Yes, the other one.
Breast cancer. You have seen when we go in, we want to see some of the
pictures. Yes,
or
we'll go around
in the family gallery.
Right.
Yes,
fond memories about her.
It tells you the whole story. A very, very lovely lady, pretty to the teeth, and very, very well disciplined. She was an Asafoje.
Oh,
well groomed lady, good home.
From a noble family. Yes.
No. We never had a fight.
You never.
Oh no. We may want to argue over a couple of things, but so.
You miss her.
So adorable. Oh, definitely. In that connection, I've been very lucky with 2 wonderful women, and that's why I think I should be content and remain as I am.
No need for a third one.
No. It doesn't right.
Do you still have women coming up there say you are cute?
No.
Oh, you don't.
No.
You don't have any people like.
I don't know that I have any antipathy towards anyone.
I know.
No. But at the same time,
maybe somebody say, "Oh, I want to be with you, around you, give you company." You're not welcome.
It all depends on what your real motive is. But no, it doesn't arise at this time.
Right. What kind of music do you listen to? If you even do you have time for the music?
Yes, I love gospel songs. I love them.
Any favorites?
Oh, I am so prolific that I even don't know whether I have favorites.
Wow.
But I just have to hear.
But you love music. Ghanaian music, gospel music.
And in fact, incidentally, I love general Ghanaian music too.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yes.
So you know about high life music? And
I don't know about, but I see and I enjoy. And
you enjoy them? Like who? Do you know of Amachi Dede?
Definitely. Who wouldn't have heard?
Is he one of your favorites? What about Daddy Lumba? What about Kodechi?
Look, I keep on saying that these are all talented people. The thing about the musicians and the actors and so on, they create.
Creative people.
When a man makes a song and says, this is literature.
That's right.
Oh, that is, he doesn't sit down with anyone. Nkongwasie means that we are going to, let's say, what, arbitrate a good assembly. You know, only will be a near assembly.
Yes.
And that is picturesque to tell you how powerful God is. You know, you summon him in what court? You know, this is, and they are doing that all over the place.
You celebrate Ghanaian musicians.
They are
creative arts.
Yes, they are good. And one thing that I want to bump in is that we should stop this telenovela.
The telenovelas, you think that is killing our industry.
I won't watch it for a person.
You won't.
It is bad. A Ghanaian speaking tree
over
some white person's can't we create anything? Because you see, if we turn our attention to certain things, we really lose our value.
Our culture, our values.
Yes, and it is wrong. What Osofo Dadzi and others did, Atani and those people did sometimes.
Showcasing God. I remember growing up, I used to watch.
Yes. We must improve upon them and not go backwards to be speaking through white people's mouths and so on and so forth. It is very, very degrading.
Wow.
The Nigerians won't do that. The Nigerians won't do that. And look at how far
they've gone.
We should not. In fact, there should be a way of stopping it.
You believe that there should be a way to stop
There must be a way of stopping it.
Because now there's an influx of it.
It's a shame. It's shameful. Otherwise, our efforts will die off.
Well, as we wrap up, it's time for some quick fire questions, and then we'll come to our mystery question. So let me find out from you. Any day, anytime, is it Hearts of Oak or Kumasi Asante Kotoko?
Hearts of Oak.
Hearts of Oak.
Yes. I used to watch Hearts of Oak matches in the 50s. Yes.
President Kufuor or President Akufo-Addo? Any day, anytime, if you're asked. Choose one. Who would that be?
I won't tell you.
Oh, who would it be? If you are pushed to the wall?
No, I will not allow.
You want to plead the fifth, right?
I will plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. Yeah, I will grant you that. Nana Achampon or Daddy Lumba when it comes to high life music?
Oh, in fact, honestly, I'm so general in my appreciation that I wouldn't remember, but I think the Lumba guy.
The Lumba guy will carry it for you. It's up there. It's now time for our mystery question. And here you go. So please pick one. Yes, you pick and just read it out for us.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Let me take.
So the mystery questions, yes.
Let me take number one.
Yeah, you have all three to answer though. So we start off with one.
Which minister has impressed you the most?
Yes.
I mean, in recent times?
In recent times, in this current government, in the MPP government, from 2017 to till now. Which minister has impressed you?
In fact, the ministers have done very good, generally speaking.
Who carried for you? Who stand tall among them? Yes.
The communications minister,
Esla Owusu,
and the education minister.
Education minister. So that's Educhum and Esla Owusu.
Let me make it 1-1 draw.
So these two are the giants for you. Education minister Educhum and Madam Esla Owusu.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
You're happy with their job.
Very, very, very.
Right. So the next one.
But I'm saying
yes,
they really show quality.
Quality. Fantastic.
But I'll put
them
my neck out
for them. For these two. Yes, please. This one is yours as well. Yes, please.
There were rumors that Adua Safo did not vote for you. Did you hear such rumors? And do you believe she did not vote for you? In fact, enough has been known by members that this is what happened.
She did not vote for you.
That is what has been said by those who know a lot more. And that is the fact of the matter. But it's history, it doesn't matter.
How did you take it?
I didn't bother, I must tell you honestly. Because, in fact, because I believe that my path has already been determined in advance by a God I believe in. So if I pursue something and I don't get it, it means God does not want me to get it. And I do something else.
The last one will be this.
But you have not made me pick. You have virtually given me
No, I'm just helping you with the bowl. It's 3 in the bowl, so I'm just helping you with it. And the question is,
who has been your best parliamentarian?
That's right. And that will be who?
The former roads minister was fantastic in question time. Nevertheless, I must say that 2 people who worked with me very well helped to achieve private members' bill. And a number of the things that we did, pushing all manner of programs through the Parliamentary Service Board, Chairman Sabonsu and Haruna Idrisu.
So these will be your 2 parliamentarians. But you mentioned former roads minister, that's Oquaye.
Yeah, that is a person who was so good so far as question time is important.
When you sat in the seat as speaker, he was the one who really got it for you.
Because question time is one of the important aspects of parliament.
Right.
He was always punctual. His answers were apt. He was bombarded a lot. And he answered the questions with equanimity.
Wow.
Yes.
But when it comes to parliamentary work, you will say
the 2 persons,
Chairman Sabonsu and Haruna Idrisu.
They are top men. Wow. Men of sterling caliber. And they did a lot to help me to move Parliament forward. If we come to talk about the things that happened, there were many.
Wow. Yes. And for that, you salute them.
I salute them.
We salute you as well.
Majority leader, minority leader.
We salute you as well. And thanks so much for being our guest on Star Chat. It's been an interesting conversation right here on Star Chat. And I'm saying a very big thank you to the team for this. My name is Bolare. Until next week, we say bye-bye. Thank you.